Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. We are in level 5. We are going to learn a new Thala today, which is Sangeerna Chapu Thalam. Before I begin the class, I will start the class with the Tirukural. செவி உணவின் கேள்வி உடையார் அவி உணவின் ஆன்றாரோடு ஒப்பர் நிலத்து. What is the meaning of it? செவி உணவாகிய கேள்வி அறிவு வாய்க்கப் பெற்றவர் இந்நிலை உலகில் வாழ்பவராயினும் அவிர்வாகமாகிய உணவையுடைய தேவர்களுக்கு சமமானவர். A person who has got a listening skills, who can know the food for the ears, if he hears good things, he is compared to the devas in the other world. So that's the high quality of listening Thiruvalluvar compares in this Thirukural. With this good thought, I am entering into the class. Today we are going to learn Sangeerna Chapu Thalam. Sangeernam by itself is one of the nadais. As we know in Pancha Nadai we have seen Tisra Nadai, Chatusra Nadai, Ganda Nadai, Misra Nadai, Sangeerna Nadai. So Sangeernam is 9. Sangeerna Chapu, Misra Chapu you know, it is 7 beats. It's a 3.5 beat cycle. Sangeerna Chapu is a 4.5 beat cycle. So when you multiply that, it's 9 beats. Takkitta, takka, dhimmi, takka. This is the structure by which my guru, Kumbakonam Sri M. Rajapayar Sir, taught me. Sangeerna Chapu. All these you have to learn technically because there might not be musicians who might be singing all these. But given a chance, when somebody gives you these sort of complex things, you should be able to understand the rudiments behind it. So this class is more to how to approach with the knowledge what you have gained in level 2 and level 3. We will see how you can approach into this thala as well. Use those knowledge, cross-pollinate the ideas, and showcase your talents in a brilliant format. I'll teach you some guidance, and we will have a review on all these types of thalas separately so that we can do some interesting core ways, so that each one is unique by themselves. We can formulate some structures and then we can exhibit and showcase. So how the structure for this thala goes like this. Takkitta takka dhimmi takka, takkitta takka dhimmi takka. How you have to play this, the more closest is you have 3 beats. The 3 beats is Rupaka Thalam and half of Rupaka Thalam is 1.5. So it's a combination of 1.5 plus 3. That's the relation you have to understand. Don't get alarmed when you hear, hey, what is this Sangeerna Chapu? Don't get alarmed. But when you break it up, it becomes easy. So half of 3 is 1.5, 1.5 plus 3 is Sangeerna Chapu. So tad din na din kittu takka din na ta din na din ta din na ta din na don takka din na ta din na din ta kittu takka din. So this is the way you have to go with the family of Tadindina family. So the first is Tatadin family, Kedadagadim family, Talangadim family, Tagadanadim family. All these families of phrases you can approach in this format. The format is changed to 1.5 plus 3. Tadinna you add with the Rupakam Dinkittu Takadinna. That's what you need to do. The way you have to reduce Tadinna, din kitta taka din din na da din na din din kadaka takadimi 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 ta din na don taka din din na ta din na din din kadaka takadimi 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 din kadaka takadimi dam kadaka din kadaka takadimi dam kadaka takadimi dam kadaka takadimi dam. That's the Tirmanam. You just have to add a half a beat before a 4-beat Tirmanam. If you can, when you look at 4.5 beats, the closest, easiest thing what you should look at is the 4 beats. The 4 beats is very common, familiar to you. Din takatari katagatam, takatari katagatam, takatari katagatam. Din talangadin tatam, talangadin tatam, talangadin tatam. Din tagadana tagadanatam, tagadana tagadanatam, tagadana tagadanatam. So you should be able to tell all these patterns of 4 plus adding a din, which is for a half a beat. Then you should be able to make this format complete. So it's a full cycle format, half cycle format, and then you play the phrases for a couple of lines. Tad din na, din din, get a tagadimi 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 dinna, din din, get a tagadimi 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 din, get a tagadimi dam, get a tagadimi dam, get a tagadimi dam. So if you are playing you play tad din na din 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 din. So this is the format. First of all, you have understood what is Sangeerna Chapu is. So it is an extension of Misra Chapu. So 3.5 to 4.5. Second is the closest relational cross-pollination ideas where all you can get it is from Ganda Tripita. Ganda Tripita is 9 beats. So half of 9 is 4.5 beats. So you have to take the ideas from, you can take ideas from Ganda Tripita, you can take ideas from Rupakatala, you can take ideas from, I'm going to deal with another subject in the next class which is Adithalam Tisranadai. You can take ideas from there, Rupakatalam Rendikadai. All these are relational subjects. So if you know one subject, you will be able to know all these subjects better. So the only thing is you have to position and format it differently. So that's the first part of this learning. So I will shortly demonstrate how you have to play. Then towards the end, that's what you're going to do as a Tirmanam. The Tirmanam is a half a beat plus 4-beat Tirmanam. If you can remember that 4-beat Tirmanam because you're familiar with Adithalam, that's the base, so it's easier for you to do this. Similarly, you can use for all the phrases, whatever I have taught you, you use it in the, play it in this format, tell it in this format. Those are all the challenges which you have to go through and overcome it. So when you have to say tad din na, din din, data din din na, all this you should tell and you should be able to play. You should play the phrases. Those are all the learnings and takeaways which are vital in this part of my teachings. The next one I want to teach you is extend all the sequences, whatever is there in the Rupakathalam. Dhimi, 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 taka, dhimi, dhimi, taka, dhimi, dhimi, taka, dhimi, dhimi, taka, dhimi, dhimi, tata, dhimi, dhimi, taka, dhimi, dhimi, taka, dhimi, taka, dhimi, dhimi, taka, dhimi, dhimi, taka, dhimi, dhimi, taka, taka, dhimi, dhimi, taka. You can use all the lessons to convert this to this format, what I taught you in Tadindina. I want to have, this is a homework for you. Take the Rupakathalam base. Put that into this bucket. So I want you to play all these sequences one by one, about 8 to 10 sequences I have taught you in Rupakathalam. Approach all these and put it into this cycle, and then I will listen to you and correct if need be, and this is what you need to do. The other aspect, this is the homework. So I want you to do the homework in this thala. That is one aspect of it, and I also want you to tell how you are reducing it for the various sequences and how you are finalizing with the Thirmana. Then we will also see the Tisram approach in this thala. Tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi. Tang tatta dhimi is 1.5 beats. So we are repeating 3 times. 1.5 into 3 is 4.5 beats. So we will learn maths. We will also know the format. So that becomes interesting. Tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi. Kadada tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, kadada 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 hang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi. Kadada tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi. Kadada tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, kadada kadada kadada. If you break the components, each one is 1.5. Kadada tatta dhimi 1.5. Tang tatta dhimi 1.5. Kadada 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 is 1.5. So this is the combination. Then you change with a phrase. Talang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, talang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi. Now comes the interesting aspect. Now you're going to make a tisram on top of this tisram. How it's going to work out? Let's watch. Tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tadhimi tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi. This part is tisram by itself. Tang tatta dhimi is tisra phrase. You're adapting another 3 by 2 on top of it. So 6 into 3 by 2 is 9. So this 9 becomes tadhimi tang tatta dhimi. Tadhimi is 3, tang tatta dhimi is 6, 3 plus 6 is 9. A 6 becomes a 9 when it gets a different swarupa, when you apply the factor of a tisra factor. So that's the logic you have to learn. So tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi. I'm going to treat the first tang tatta dhimi with the treatment of a tisra factor of into 3 by 2. Tadhimi tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tadhimi tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi, tang tatta dhimi. Now that I have got the taste of how this new flavored phrase of Tisra is looking at, I'm going to extend it to the next 2 phrases as well. Tadhimi tang tatta dhimi, 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 tadhimi tang tatta dhimi. So a 3. The first one is 1.5, the next one is 3 beats, but in between 1.5 there is a striking there. You have to ensure that you get 2 times tadhimi tang tatta dhimi perfectly. Tadhimi tang tatta dhimi, tadhimi tang tatta dhimi. So 1.5 pads up to 3. That's the trickiest part here. So now extend that. Tadhimi tang tatta dhimi, 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 tang tatta dhimi. These are all the flavors of Tisram on Tisram. Now, after this, you have to play a particular Thirmanam. Tadik ketatatang, tadik ketatatang, tadik ketatatang, tadik ketatatang, tadim, tadik ketakata, im, tadik ketakata, dim, tadik ketakata, tadik ketatatang, tadik ketatatang, tadik ketatatang, tadum, tadik ketatatadum, tadik ketatatadum. Tadik ketatatang, tadik ketatatang, tadik ketatatang, tadum, tadik ketakatadum, tadik ketakatadum, tadik ketakata. That is the approach in this Sangeerna Chapu Tissaranadai approach. I will go one by one so that you can connect everything, because it's a class. Everyone should understand the approach, and then once when you know that, then you can connect it. 3 tang tatta dhimi added. So first tang tatta dhimi is for 1.5 beat. The next tang tatta dhimi is for the 2 beats, for the 3 beats, because it's 1.5 combination is 3. Now you slowly extend it with the phrases. last line with a phrase to give the enforcement. So that when you say kidada tatta dimmi tangu tatta dimmi kidada 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 tatta dimmi, just to give the punch of the start and the phrase towards the end to give the grandeur. Next, change it with Thalam Tattadimi. Change it to Dumgada Tattadimi. Give a modulation there with Dum Kadadaga. Tarikadaga, you give the modulation, then you get into the normal form and get into the Tisra approach. This is the Tisram on Tisram approach in Sangeerna Chapu Thalam. The rest of the approaches is exactly same like Rupaga Thalam. You can take some pointers from Ganda Jadi Triputta Thalam. You can take all these leads and try to play this Thala. We will have a one-on-one review, and I'll also teach you what are all the different aspects of Korvai you can play. Towards the end, the furrons is these are all the basic furrons you can play, and the mora, it can be interesting. So you can play this mora, very simple, lucid one. You can play towards the end. Suddenly, if somebody gives you a challenge or exposure to be played in this thala as a solo. Now, then the Korvai, tit tangada tit tangada tit tangada tadiketa tatang, tadiketa tatang, tadiketa tatang. You can play the simple Korvai. This you repeat 3 times. Whenever you are approaching or playing a complex thala, the rule of thumb is play a simple Korvai. On top of this complex thala, if you are trying to play a complex idea, the other person who is putting thala might tend to slip that. So it's important when you are playing an Adi Thalam, you can show all your expertise, because people are conversant in putting Adi Thalam or Rupaga Thalam, because those are all more prevalent and frequently used. This is a rarity. when you are playing for a rare thala, unless and until you play or leg dem or wanted to demonstrate something, you can use and showcase your ideas, but not on the platform where you represent a complex idea into this. You ideally, I suggest whatever I taught you, something in similar lines which are simple, you can approach and play. With this, I'm concluding this class. Hope you got the perspective and idea and approach of how to go about this thala. And I want you, we will have reviews for more detailed sessions, but that's the idea because these advanced lessons cannot be taught, know everything within a short span. So it needs one-on-one attention, which we will do as part of our review. I'll see you in the next class with the approach of Tisranadai Thalam in Adi Thalam. The approach will be like this. Takkitta, 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 takkitta. The all told is it will be 24 beats because each one is 3 into 8. 8 fingers is 24 beat cycle. We will see how to go about it. It's a simple idea. We will cross-pollinate the ideas. I'll give you the direction. And the approach would be for you to do the homework and come back for a review with me. Cheers, I'll see you in the next class. I'll be watching out for you with interest and enthusiasm, and we will see how interestingly it goes. I'll conclude this class with the Tirukkural. Katrilan Nayanum Ketka Agdu Uruvarku Workathin Wootran Tunai. What is the meaning of it? Uruvan Siranga Nulgai Kalladavanainum Arivudayavar Kuruvanavatre Ketariya Vendum. கேள்வி அறிவு அவனுக்கு மனத்தளர்ச்சி ஏற்படும் பொழுது ஊன்றுகோல் போல் துணை புரியும். A person might not be learned, but if he can listen to the learned scholars and if he can listen the good things, whatever they are talking about, it will be very helpful when he is depressed. That's what Thirulur says. It will be like a tonic to him and will motivate him enough to do better things in life. With this good thought, I'm concluding this class. I will see you in the next class with the approach of Tisranadai in Adi Thalam. How to play Tisranadai in Adi Thalam.